Good morning and welcome back to another perfect day on the Thinker. Slight change of plan today. I'm no longer going to be pointing the toilet because of course we forgot Andy needs to box in all at the back of the cistern there, put a nice shelf in before I do the pointing. So plan B, this door we mentioned gets the prevailing wind in the winter. Which is lovely in the summer. This window with no glass in it to my left that you probably can't see. I'd stand doing the washing up, looking at the beautiful mountains, and I get a lovely breeze. However, in the winter it's going to be very cold, and so I need to seal up this side of the door. We did mention it on our update video the other day if you remember. This side's already done. I'm having to lean against it to keep the shutter closed. This side's already done, so we just need to weather tight this side really. So as I'm feeling much better, I thought, in the mood for a bit of pointing, I shall do that today. So, without further ado, we shall crack on.
So we've changed position today. I'm in the little loo. First of all, I'm going to finish this ceiling off. I need to get this boxing in done, because when Sharon points the wall, she'll point up and close the edges because it's not a smooth edge and stuff. It's the way it's done. So if I get this ceiling done and then that boxing in on the bottom, which we'll come to in a minute, Sharon can then crack on with the pointing, and I can do this other wall and stuff later because we're only going up to the big beams like these. So it's extremely complicated though, because it's like a triangle. The sides are, well, a rhomboid even. The sides aren't even square. So I think what I'm going to have to do is this bit here particularly, because the thin bit needs to go in there, then an angle there, yeah, and then it needs to be cut to length. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a short piece and make a little template of this angle and of this end. Then I can transfer that to a longer piece, and then I can cut my longer piece, because it's got to be pretty perfect really. So we'll do that first. Right, if you can see that there then now, I've just pushed this board in, it's loose. What I'm going to do, I'm going to use this thin piece of wood, I'm going to offer it up next to this board I put here, and then I'm going to draw a line down there, and that will give me the exact angle to cut it at. If I cut this piece now to that angle, I can then transfer that to my longer piece. And I also need to mark this distance there as well. Super. Right, let's see what we can do with that. Okay, so that's my piece cut. I'm pretty happy with that. You couldn't get a hair in it. So what I've got to do now, I'll show you that. That's what it is. So I'm going to transfer this end now to a long piece, and then I can cut the length of it, if that makes sense. So let's go and do that. Right, so the first one's in. I made this end on the end of it. Hope you can see that, and then cut it to length. I've got a bit to spare on the length. There's still got a gap, so that's in. I'm going to shove some, I need to put a bit of a packer in here because I've got a gap between that joist and that one. And then get the compressor fired up and get it nailed into place, get some insulation behind it. So I'll go and get the compressor sorted out. So what I'm going to do, that light in the way, I've just got a piece of an offcut. I'm just going to nail it to this joist because I've got a gap between it because nothing's level in here, and then I can fix all my things to that. That's it. This one will be alright. Get rid of that. And then one's good as well. So I can get this in place now. And this one. Pretty good. Right, the next one. Same angle on that one. I actually cut it on the table saw, so I need to cut another longer piece. In fact, I'm going to measure it before I do it. Measure it on the longest point to where I need to be here, and I'll take us out and I'll show you how I cut that angle on the table saw.
Okay, so it made a start slowly. Got about 5 stones in at the moment. The challenge is finding the right stone to fit the right hole, so that's what takes the time. But it's going well. I've got a great mix going on, which is half the battle if you get your consistency right. So I'm just now looking for a stone to fit in here to tie all that in. That one's too big.
So this is my next piece. The groove wants to be at the front, and the angle wants to be cut that way. You see that way. So, and I want it to be 95 long on the groove, which is the longest side. So what I've got my angelometer here, which I'm going to have to change, but it's now going the wrong way. It's apparently a 10-degree angle. So I set that way like that. So if I cut through that now, it's going to take more off this side than that side, which should be right, he says. Measure my length, 95. So all we do then is set it on the saw. We've got our angle right, and we just slide that up, he says. Let's have a go. Go and see if it fits. Right, I've just offered it up. It looks pretty good. And I'm just going to stuff some of these trimmings of insulation up in the holes. Fill them up. Get rid of all this lot. A bit more, so that gets rid of all that. The problem with this is it's curved and it doesn't want to go in easily. That's it. Usually we just get them started. There we go. Slide him up to there. That's it. Okay. That'll nail it in place. The fun now is these last two, because they're tapered. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut the first one, I'm going to measure it and cut it to the length that I need it. Then I'm going to offer it up and mark the width to where it runs out to its full width, which is going to be somewhere around here. and then I'm going to have to just trim it off with the jigsaw. All good fun. Well, a bit of a mission, but the last piece is in, so all the ceiling's done. These things take so long, so many little fiddly cuts and angles and things, but it's got to be done. So the top bit's ready for pointing. Spot a lunch I think now, and then we'll have a look at the bottom bit. Right, so my next nightmare job is unboxing them behind here. It's really difficult to see. I'm going to use floorboards to bring it up, 280mm to about here. I need to cut round the soil pipe, so I've cut two pieces at 945, which is the width all the way across, more or less. And I'm now going to measure in from the left hand edge up to the edge of that soil pipe and join both the two boards. So my one board should go underneath it and the other one should sit on top of it, if that made any sense at all. Right, so these are my two boards. So where I've just measured, 150mm from the bottom is the centre of the soil pipe hole. 235mm in, 230mm in from the left is the edge of it. The pipe's 90mm. So if I add 45mm to that, so if I make the centre 275 in, and don't forget the pipe is on an angle as well, just to make things better. So 275mm on the left and 150mm on the bottom is the centre for my hole saw. So I'm going to mark them out now. I'll come back to you in a second. So there's my mark there. I've just packed it up a bit so I don't drill through the bench. And I've got my biggest hole cutter, 110mm. Let's have it. There we go. I'm going to shake this outside so I don't get my lovely workshop all messy. Okay, so in theory now, this piece, the bottom piece should fit under the soil pipe and the top piece should fit above it. I can get them apart. There we go, like that. Let's go and have a look. So while I'm fighting with wood, Sharon's doing a grand job at this door. Look at that now. Top more than 50% done. Well done, pop it.
Thank you. Oh, it's not easy. It's just the finding the stones that's the difficult bit. But yes, we're getting there.
Right, so it's sort of in. It needs to go back a bit at the right hand side, but as you can see, because it's an angle on that, I just need to cut a little piece off the right hand bit, sort of there where my foot is, just to allow it to go back a little bit further. It's because it's on an angle. So let's nick a bit off and see where we're at with that. So that's pretty perfect now, right where I want it. Good at that side as well. So I just need to match the top one up to it, and then we can get it in. So there it is, loosely, it's in. I need to take the tongue off, it's still on the top, so I need to take the tongue off and then yeah, fix it in place. It needs to be levelled up obviously, so what I'll do, I'll probably put some strips on the back and nail it through to join them together. Yeah, so the first job is to get the tongue off it. But yeah, what a mission. These things take so much time. You could do the whole ceiling in less time than it takes to mess about with a bit of this stuff. Right, let's crack on then. So that's it, they've had enough. You can see when the top's on, you can see the tap there. I'll still be able to access that. Fabulous. It's all working out quite nicely. I'm going to do the top tomorrow though, because I've had enough. I'm absolutely brain hammered, and yeah, I've had enough. Well, that's us for today. Like I said, I find it absolutely mentally exhausting working with all those cuts. It takes hours and hours and hours, and every angle's different, every piece is different. They've all got to meet up perfectly. You can't have gaps running off. That's what makes it difficult. Door's looking good though.
Yeah, I ran out of mortar right at the end. I've got this little bit here, if you can see, left to do. Absolutely.
There's the whole rest of the whole house to do, of course, as well.
Of course, of course.
So
But,
it'll get fitted
yeah,
in.
a bit
and
like a
upstairs.
jigsaw puzzle in itself, similar
But
to.
no gaps, it won't leak. We can
No.
close this in the winter at
Yeah.
least for now.
I'll finish that off tomorrow. Take me half an hour, she says.
Cool. So we're going to have a beer
Oh
now.
yes, nice
Yeah.
cold beer.
We hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it interesting. Every day is a bit different for us, as you probably gather in. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thank you to all the subscribers. If you have enjoyed it and you aren't currently subscribed, please consider doing so. And if you check the little bell and select all, YouTube will notify you every time we upload a video, as good as this one. Crikey me. So yeah, thanks so much everyone.
Thanks guys, see you
We'll be back
tomorrow.
tomorrow.